Hi guys, welcome to Common Sense Outdoors. So what I wanted to talk about now is if we're trying to create a fly in a survival situation, create a bait, maybe it's not easy to find a bait, a live bait, an insect. We want to create a fly to catch fish on. I want to talk about some materials that either we can find in the woods, find in the wild, or maybe it's something that we procured already. Say we caught a bird already and we could use some of the feathers off of that bird to create a bait to catch a fish. Or possibly we, stumbled across a cougar kill, deer hair, elk hair. Maybe we procured a rabbit. But what I thought I'd do is talk about some more materials that we can procure or find in a survival situation to create flies with, and show you a few different ways of going about doing that. So let's take this over to our Bushcraft Fly Vise and give you a few ideas and tips, show you a few things. Okay guys, so we have a hook in our Bush Fly Vise. And let's talk about, again, I'm going to use an actual fly tying thread and bobbin just so I can keep my fingers out of the way, so you guys can see what's going on. And I'm just going to start to wrap the hook, and then I'm going to wrap it back over the tag towards the bend of the hook. And we'll trim off our tag, and we're ready to start tying a fly. So let's talk about some other materials that can be procured or found in the wild to make a fly. One being rabbit fur. If we simply take some rabbit fur, just grab a pinch of it and pull it out. Now if we just take that, roll it around in our fingers a little bit, kind of like if we were creating a tinder for fire. Just kind of smush it together a little bit, roll it around. We've created a ball of fur. In the fly tying world, this is called dubbing, and what we can do is simply take and hold it in our fingers alongside our thread and just start twisting. Let me tip you down here. We just start twisting the rabbit fur onto the thread. It kind of grabs onto the thread and stays there. Now what we can do is just simply start wrapping that around the hook, creating a body. If we get a little bigger on the head end of it, it's just right. Now by simply wrapping a bunch of times behind the eye of the hook, we create a head to our bug and secure everything in place. Come out of their finger. We put some half hitches in that. Cut off our tag. If we have some kind of a glue in our kit, or we can use some tree sap, put that on the threads there. Got way too much there. Now if we take and just kind of fluff out our rabbit fur. Let me put this on a different stick, give you the full view of it. So simply by using a little fur, we kind of create a body. Then you fluff up that fur. I don't know how well you can see the little hairs sticking off of it. Very buggy looking. This isn't going to float very well as far as a dry fly. It'll absorb water into that rabbit fur and slowly sink. You know, you pull it out and blow it off, it'll float again for a second, then slowly sink, which is another technique that works well to catch a fish. So rabbit hair. Squirrel hair also work. You kind of find fur, squirrel, rabbit, and get you some dubbing. Simple fly. The next material that we can procure or find in the wild, whether that is to harvest or to find a cougar kill or to find a pinch point or such in a game trail, say there's a narrow spot and a deer or an elk, something of that matter, rubs up against a tree. If the tree has some sap or some coarse bark, sometimes it will grab a little tuft of fur. You know, if there's a big log in the trail that they're having to jump over or go under, sometimes you'll find a spot where it's grabbed a little bit of hair. But with hair, basically what we're going to do, and let me start my thread on here first. I'm going to start for this one, start the thread on the back. Back of the hook, the bend, and I'm going to run my thread all the way up to the front of the hook, behind the eye. Yeah. Stay in there solid, Mr. Hook. Okay guys, so simply by taking some hair, get a pinch of it, take our scissors, cut the hair off at the base. Now normally for fly tying, what you want to do here is grab right here and pull, and any fine stuff like that that comes out, you just get rid of. You only want the actual full hair pieces that'll float better. Now by taking that pinch of hair and holding it alongside of our hook, we just take our thread and just start wrapping around it. As we, I'm trying to check the lighting, as we pull down, you can see how that flares out. Just give it a bunch of wraps, a few wraps right there. Pull all that back towards the back of the hook to where you can get in there. Just put some wraps behind the head or the eye of the hook. Now we'll give it our half hitches, which is going to be easier said than done on this one, because I got too close to the eye of the hook. We get our half hitches in there, trim off our thread. Now we can simply take our scissors and give that a haircut. Now if we want to, we can come to the back end here and give us a straight cut behind the bend of the hook. And trim off a couple of those. If we've got glue or sap, put on our thread, keep stuff from coming untied. But just like that, using a little bit of hair, deer hair in this case, we've created a very buggy fly that will catch fish. So, I've shown using a feather, using fur, such as rabbit fur, and hair, such as deer or elk hair. Each of them on their own can create a fly that's going to work on its own. Coincidentally, if we take all three of those materials and use them together, let me show you what we end up with. I've already started my line, started my thread on the hook, and I have the rabbit dubbing, rabbit fur wrapped around my thread as shown before. So if we just take a feather, put the tip of our feather at the base of our hook, or the bend of our hook, start wrapping it down. Then we'll get to the part where we've got our rabbit dubbing, and we just start wrapping it up around the hook. And we wrap our thread behind the eye of the hook for our head. Now we take our feather and just start wrapping it around that. Up to behind the hook eye. We take our thread and give that some wraps. Pull it all back, give it a few more wraps right behind the eye. Again, creating our head of our bug. Cut off our feather. Take our hair, line it up where we want it. Another little tip is to give this hair a once around without going around the hook. Kind of holds it all together and it'll keep it on top of the hook. Pull everything back. Get some wraps in behind the eye of the hook. And some half hitches. And now we just come to our scissors, trim our thread, we'll give the front part a haircut. And so just like that, guys, we've created a caddisfly using all three of the materials. Feather, fur, hair. Again, alone they'll make their own fly. If you have all three, you actually create an actual caddisfly. So one last time, there's our fly we made with just a feather, fly we made with just rabbit fur, just hair, and one with all three of them put together. Any one of these is going to catch fish. Any one will catch fish. Few simple procured or found materials in the wild, and a little bit of know-how on how to tie them. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, thank you for your likes, views, comments, and support, and we'll see you in the next video.